What's up, everybody? It's Tyson and Adrian back with another podcast. And today we have a guest. He's a Black Label athlete and a college baseball player at the College of Idaho, Kris Kirkpatrick. What's up, Kris?
How's it going?
Doing good. Happy to have you on. We
Happy
don't
to be
have a
here.
super long intro. So first off, just tell us a little about you. We know you play baseball at College of Idaho, but tell us who Kris is, how you got to where you're at.
Yeah. So I play baseball, like you said. But just my whole life I've been super interested in fitness and everything. So I've really just been a big part of my life. So baseball is kind of just there for me, and it's awesome having a good time there. And I'm studying marketing, so doing a lot of that, doing a lot of graphic design.
Marketing's awesome.
Yeah, doing a lot of graphic design at school. So I'm really learning a lot there. Staying busy for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know before we started this, we talked about, you're jumping on here between classes or between practice, class, whatever it is you're doing, your internship. There's a bunch of stuff going on right now. So we're not going to take a ton of your time.
Yeah, no worries.
Let's start with baseball, and we can talk about some other stuff as we go. But you played at Rocky Mountain.
I did.
College of Idaho, so you like purple, I think it sounds like.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently, I'm a big fan of purple. I don't know how it just kind of worked out that way. It was nice.
Yeah, and it's super competitive. Rocky Mountain's our 5A school, right? So talk about I guess first let's back up before that. Have you always played baseball? Is it like something you grew up traditional, play baseball, do club baseball, travel everywhere, then go to college, or what was your history?
Yeah, actually, very traditional. I was saying that normal kid who played every sport up until just about middle school. I decided to focus on baseball, and then went through high school, went through club, and ended up at CVI. Yeah.
What was it that made you decide you love baseball? Was there a specific deciding factor that said, oh, I'm going to pick baseball over these other sports, or did it just naturally happen?
It sort of just naturally happened. It was funny. I didn't really have a grasp on any other sport, and so I leaned towards baseball just because it was the only one I thought I was pretty good at.
Okay.
I tried football. I wasn't great. They let me sit the bench. I tried basketball. They let me sit the bench, and so I was like, yeah, we'll stick with baseball.
Yeah, no, that's a good reason to stick with baseball. And it's like, I mean, I admire baseball players. Like, I'm a track guy, so it's like the opposite sport during the same season, right? But it's a grind. And
Yeah.
anybody that can play baseball all the way through high school and still love it going into college, you really have to love it, right?
Yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot for sure. We don't get a lot of time off.
Yeah, you're playing. And what position do you play?
I go two-way at CVI, so I'm a pitcher and I play first base as well.
Nice.
So I'm
That's a
super.
good mixture. I played first base in high school, and that was like my favorite. I don't know. I just feel like you have a good in between to scoop stuff.
Yeah,
Also, you can throw, but you don't throw as hard because I'm not like a great thrower. You know what I'm saying? But like third base, usually the pitchers were third base or second or shortstop because they were doing the long distance ones. And rarely have to shoot third base.
I loved it, especially when I was younger when I picked it up, just because I got the ball a lot when we were younger, 12 years old, 10 years old. You always those kids who get stuck in the outfield and never get the ball. You're like, I hate this.
Yeah.
I play first base because I get a lot of action.
Okay. So do you have a preference between the two?
I'd say I'm more of a pitcher at heart. I really do like pitching, but nothing beats hitting in a game. So
yeah. So I got the tradition or the perception, right, in baseball is pitchers suck at hitting.
Yeah, that is the case. I'd like to think it's the opposite, at least in my case, hopefully sometimes. We definitely have our fair share of pitchers who look like they've never looked at a bat before. But at least for my case, I'd like to think it's quite the opposite.
So do they ever have like DH or no? Do they have like undesignated hitters that would hit for them?
We have all our pitchers get a DH for when they pitch, except myself.
All right, that's probably good for your playing time, right? I mean,
Yeah, no, it helps. It gets me on the field quite often.
yeah, that's awesome. So I think that Radian brings up a good question for me because I'm a baseball fan, but I don't know like all the nitty-gritty details. So I know in the major leagues, like one of the leagues has DHs and the other doesn't. So in college, is it like that? Is there certain conferences that have DHs and certain that don't, or is there always the option?
So in college, there's a universal DH. So every team will have the DH.
Okay.
At least for us, we kind of work around it in a way to where when I pitch, I'm technically the pitcher and the DH. So that way, once I come out, whenever seventh, eighth inning, for the rest of the game, I'm still listed as the DH. So that's just kind of how we work around
Like,
it.
like, do you want to play like pro? Would that be like a thing that you want to, something you would want to do, or it's just like you like college baseball, but like, do you see yourself like trying to like get to there? I mean, I don't know how fast you pitch. I mean, so I don't know like what your like gap is.
No, if the opportunity was ever available, I would for sure jump on it. It's definitely something I've thought about. Something I always work towards at practice. I never really just kind of coast through practice. I always like it's on my mind. If like I said, if the opportunity presents itself, it's definitely something I would love to pursue.
And typically that transition in baseball, it's a little different than other sports, right? Where you could get drafted at any time but continue to play college. Is that right?
Yeah, so it's a little weird for baseball. You can get drafted out of high school.
Yeah.
And if you could do that, or if you get drafted, you don't necessarily have to sign with the team. So there's been plenty of cases of guys getting drafted super late in high school, like 15th or so round, and then they wouldn't sign and go to college. And then after college, they'd end up getting drafted higher and being able to sign for more. Or sometimes they don't get drafted again. So it's kind of a little risk. You gotta weigh the benefits of each side.
Okay.
Yeah, back at home, I had like I think one of my friends, he was playing third base. His little brother, he was so super good. I think he was pitching like 80, 85, and like he was like a seventh grader, eighth grader. He was throwing fast.
Wow.
And by the time he was a freshman, I think the Rangers had already signed him. And pretty much they tell him like, hey, you play ball for the next 3 years, 4 years. When you're done, well, this is your contract if you make it to that,
Yeah.
And they were basically he's like a junior Texas Rangers, and then from there he kind of like goes up. But man, this kid was like I said, he's a freshman pitching faster than the average high school player. Even seniors, even like the best. And he could hit. So I mean, he already had signing. People already signing for him. A lot of people from my hometown were like get drafted. I mean, not like a lot, but like more than the majority for a small town. It's just that's where I'm from. It's just like baseball is everything, more than
Yeah.
football, more than basketball, more than anything else.
Yeah, I'd like to think it's the same around here. I feel like growing up in the Meridian, Boise area, I'd like to think it's always been mostly a little baseball town, but that could just be the baseball player in me filtering.
Yeah.
I think we always love what the sport we do, right?
Yeah.
So with transitioning from high school to college baseball, it sounds like you played club, so maybe there hasn't been a lot of difference, right? Because in high school you do high school ball, and then you go into legion ball or club, whatever you end up doing, and then fall ball, right? So in college, the transition probably isn't as different as it is for other sports, where in other sports you might do your sport for 3 or 4 months out of the year, and then in college all of a sudden it's year round, where you're pretty used to that. Is that right?
Yeah, for the most part, for sure. I guess everything once I got to college was just amplified so much. Like in high school, we had our fall ball, which was just mostly workouts from November to December. And then here we get started first day of school, August 23rd. We have full practice, full uniform. We're scrimmaging through November, practicing every day. So it's definitely everything is just completely amplified, mixed with the school too as well. Just so much harder, but it's definitely been a challenge, but I really am embracing it. It's been super fun. It keeps me really busy, which is nice.
Yeah. And so we really appreciate you taking some time to jump on the podcast. And chat with us for a little bit. And I know
Oh,
you
yeah.
have maybe 15 or
Yeah.
minutes or so left or shorter, so we're not
Yeah.
going to keep you too long. What do you guys have a structured strength and conditioning program within your team?
Yeah. So our school works with, there's this local group called Off the Field, and they're based in Meridian, and they work out. They've really grown like a lot since I've been in high school. They used to train all the high school athletes, and then now they're our official strength and conditioning provider at CVI. So their guys will come out to our weight room and they'll work out our teams. Pretty much all our teams work out with them. I live with some of the guys on the basketball team, and we have the same guys working us out. They'll go at 6 a.m. We'll go at 11 a.m. It's crazy how much stuff they have on their plate, but they do a really, really good job for us, and we're super thankful for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you, like, I've seen on your Instagram and stuff, you really love fitness and working out outside of baseball,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
do you do anything on top of that, or because of your time constraints, do you just stick with your training and then do your other stuff maybe in the summer when you have time?
No, I do stay on top of it. Yeah. My sister's a bodybuilder actually, and she just did her first few shows this summer. So I've really been getting after it lately. Fitness is huge for me. Our whole family, we love it. And so those team workouts are usually only a couple times a week. So I try to get in there at least once, maybe sometimes even twice a day, to make sure I'm staying on top of everything.
Yeah. Well, you look good, and I saw the pictures. I think you guys went to Disneyland or something.
Yeah. Yeah, we just had a family trip.
They're like, you had a fit fam photo. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's awesome. You
Yeah,
guys
it's
are
cool.
We
all
had to take the pictures before the first day of the trip before we got into Disneyland, and we ate all the sweets.
yeah,
Get
exactly.
those out of the way and make sure we look good for that first day.
Yeah, for sure.
What was I gonna ask? I feel like is there a workout that you like? I know with baseball, I feel like it's a lot more cardio, but one thing I noticed is with like the MLB, a lot of these guys are not as like lean and fit. They're pretty like some guys are pretty thick and chunky. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I always wonder, do you think that, I mean, I'm pretty sure they still run, but I feel like they don't run as much. Like I feel like in high school, man, I ran so much, and I'm pretty sure in college you run a lot.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'm wondering, like, do you think like in MLB that they like the cardio just slows down?
That's
Or, like,
a good point.
because I noticed that and they're like just bigger dudes. They hit harder. They
Yeah.
hit base.
I'm not sure because I know what you're talking about. It does look like there are some big dudes.
Yeah.
I would assume so when I was little, we were a host family for a minor league team in Boise. And so we'd always get those guys and kind of peeking into their life. They did mostly, I don't remember them ever having any cardio. They
Yeah.
would mostly just do weights and eat a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming all those guys that get to the big leagues is just heavy weights and lots of food to make sure they can go in the
Yes,
run.
he doesn't. I mean,
Because they're only getting from first base to second base. Like as long as you can sprint 20 yards as fast as you can, like
Yeah, that's all you need.
slide and whatever. But I've
Yeah.
always wondered that, and I'm like wondering, like if your sister does bodybuilding, like man, like right now, like I'm pretty sure you don't eat as much, but imagine like if you're to get in the pros, like you can eat whatever the heck you want. You know?
Oh, yeah, totally.
there's probably an advantage. I mean, I feel like there's always that guy that they're like, oh, he's the fast guy. And that's probably like what Adrian's saying is true. Like maybe the pros, they have a pinch runner because the big boys can't run. And they need to still
or they
hit
play
some
so much like that,
Yeah.
They put them in the lineup.
They're like this, hey, you hit, and you can even tell, right? The guys that know they're not fast, they hit a ball and they just trot to first, and they're like,
Yep.
I'm either gonna make it or I'm not. I'm not
Yeah,
sprinting.
well, I know I've seen some fast guys. Like I saw the Astros play in Houston, and man, Altuve is fast, dude. For him being so, and he's tiny compared to everybody. He's like, I don't know, like 5'6". He's tiny. I don't know. He's probably taller than that, but like there's guys that are bigger than him, and this dude hits. This dude's fast. I don't know how he does it. I don't know, but it's crazy.
I've never been the fastest guy in the world, so I got a lot of love for the big boys who just try.
And I appreciate that because that's where your strength comes in from the bodybuilding, right?
Mhm.
Probably helps. And so let me ask you this, and have you noticed, I guess, some kind of sports performance nerd, but have you noticed any either benefit or drawback from your hitting with your bodybuilding? Because obviously you're going to have more power and strength,
Yeah.
but your speed, your bat speed may drop a little bit, right? Because you're doing more slow movements.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot, just generally, I guess one of the benefits, I just feel better all the time at practice, when we do conditioning, I just feel just a lot better. I don't get tired near as quick, but like you said, for hitting, I definitely feel a lot stronger, but at the same time, the bat feels a little heavier, if that makes sense. Like I can't swing it as fast,
Yeah,
but
right.
but it's going a lot farther.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
And then
weird.
probably just your hand-eye coordination, you adjust to that, right?
Yeah.
You're not swinging as fast, but you can adjust to make that happen. So
What do you think is the worst workout? Like the most tiring workout? Like whenever they say this, you're like, oh man, that sucks. Like is there a
For,
workout?
for baseball or for
Yeah,
more of a bodybuilding?
baseball?
I think just no matter what, legs, anything to do with legs for me. When we have our pitcher leg workouts where we have to do, because for pitchers, it's a lot of explosive movements. So
Mhm.
we'll get one of like a hex bar, a trap bar, deadlifts, and we have to explode up. Anything with legs, just
not your
push.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like I guess long distance cardio. We used to do, I think they're called triangles, or like
Oh yeah, I used to run those in high school all the
oh
time.
that sucks.
Man,
And if you messed up or if someone messed up in the infield, add another one, add another one. So there's some days where like, hey, we're doing 20 triangles or we're doing 15. So it
yeah,
was home base, left field, run all the way to the right field, and then home base, and that's one triangle.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then they would be, and then or they'll let you like with medicine balls or tires over your head, and like, hey, just run in circles. And I'm like, this sucks. And you never run that much in the game. You never ever like practice is like probably 5 times way more cardio, way more hitting, way more fielding than you ever get in a game.
Yeah, our high school coach would keep a tally at the start of every practice, and every time we messed up, he would just add one triangle.
Oh yeah,
At the end of every practice, we'd be like, "Oh, we got like 30 today."
yeah, and
that's a deep tradition. He's from Texas, so if they're doing it in Idaho, it must be just a deep tradition.
Dude,
It must be. It's not a good tradition. I hated it.
Couple last questions for you, Kris, before we let you go. First couple are easy. Who's your favorite pro team?
The Rockies, Colorado.
nice.
Like that. Who's your favorite player? And it can be now or all time.
Kris Bryant, big Kris Bryant guy.
Okay.
Yeah, when he was in the minor leagues, my family was lucky enough to host him, so we have a pretty
Sweet. He
pretty
played
personal connection. Yeah, he was on the Hawks.
awesome.
We're close with him and his family, so we were Cubs fans, and then we were Giants fans for like half a year, and now we're all Rockies fans.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, that's cool. That's got to be a great experience, not only from a friendship perspective, but as you going through college to have that connection. It's cool. What role, and you don't have to take a long time to answer this, but what role as a college athlete does nutrition play? And is it hard because of I mean, you don't make a lot of money as a college athlete, right? You're spending money to go to school.
Oh God, it is hard. It's really hard. Like you said, money and everything. But as far as importance, it's everything. For me, at least, if I don't eat right, I cannot perform. But it's hard. But there's ways to work around it, thankfully.
Is there one quick one you can share with us? One ways that you're like going bargain shopping or buying bulk? Like, what do you?
This is funny, but our cafeteria at school, if you can go to the little grill section and just order chicken breasts, and I'll bring a big box and put in my backpack, and I'll get like 7 or 8 of them, and I'll bring them home, and that'll be my meal prep for the week.
Pretty good,
man.
Yeah.
And then lastly, how has supplements helped you in your performance? Because we know nutrition is the main thing, but supplements do add a little bit of help. And
they help a ton. I can't go a day without them, honestly. Even bodybuilding, baseball, everything, I'll take pre-workout before, and it's such a noticeable difference when I take it versus when I don't. And then just supplements too. Like I take creatine and glutamine every day. That Pure Power supplement that you guys have is wow. It just makes me feel better just all the time. Less sore, which is huge. Probably the biggest thing is it helps me get not get sore near as much. And then bouncing from team lifting to practice to lifting on my own, it not being sore is a huge part. So that's definitely where the supplements come in for sure.
Cool. Yeah, and you're doing so much that like the combination of being able to perform better and recover faster is huge because you're
Yeah.
doing so much all the time. And in college, you don't sleep as much as you probably should. So definitely, definitely there. So, well, hey, Kris, we really appreciate you jumping in between classes and talking to us. And for those of you guys that are listening, if you want to support Kris, one of the things that Black Label Supplements we love doing is, and part of our core mission is to support athletes, competitive athletes in their journey. So you can check out the links below. Kris will have, there'll be some discounts in there, and
We'll get
Use code Kris.
yeah, use code Kris. And if you
Code
can,
Kris.
it's in the link below, like help him out. We support him for doing that and for him taking time. So thanks a lot, man. Anything else?
Yeah. No, I think that's it. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
Yeah, I just want to ask you a question. How did you hear about Black Label? Through a family on Instagram or?
I have a buddy from high school who plays basketball at Idaho State.
Oh,
And I
nice.
know they're kind of your guys. And so he's one of your athletes and he was posting about it. And I was like, oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Look, hopefully we get to other schools,
Yeah.
like this is just I mean, that's our boss's alma mater, it's Troy's
Yeah.
it's like, let's do our best to help them because he's like, they need some help in these certain areas. So, but the goal is like, we would like to go to like other schools and be like,
Yeah.
hey, like, let's figure out something so that we can sponsor your athletes and they can take Black Label and we can give them the best they can, so hopefully we come around to different colleges would be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Maybe you can stop at C of I on the way.
That's for sure.
Cool.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and go ahead and support Kris. Kris, good luck on your fall and spring season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.